So we've been having problems with the geese biting off the corn. My husband's hoping that they'll come back up. Y'all go on now. Look, there's lots of things for y'all to eat out in this world. Y'all stay away from my corn. Go. Get. So you can see right here that they have been nibbling it. They've been nibbling my corn. So I guess it's gonna make, let me see. We had good, it came up really well. But you can see, they have nibbled it down. Baby, what are we gonna do about the geese staying out of our corn, baby? No, they're over there in the pond. What are we gonna do? Are those somebody's domestic geese? Huh?
They got a nest. See the little ones?
They got a nest?
See the little ones?
Oh, they got little baby geese. I still don't want them eating my corn though, baby. Seriously. How are we gonna keep them out of my corn?
We have to get them some food.
Do you have any food?
I don't have any food.
So how long have we had those? Is this the first you've known about us having little baby geese?
Yeah, I hadn't seen them out here.
So my attitude's kind of changed about the geese eating the corn. I still don't like the fact that they're eating my corn. But we're gonna find something to feed the geese, so. Because I don't think they're going anywhere. Because that's their babies over there. And that's the corn right there. I just don't want them to demolish my corn, baby. And you can tell they've been working on this end for sure.
It'll come back.
It will come back?
Yeah.
Because the seeds are, what if they just keep cutting it back and keep cutting it back? You can tell,
huh?
You can tell they've grazed this entire end of the crop. So, what about this patch? They've been messing in it too. Fiddle. See, this is what it's, see right here? That shows where they've been eating on it right there. And this is what it's supposed to look like down here. See, it's supposed to be long and tall. We actually planted extra this year because we're gonna put some up for our kids. And we're trying to grow extra for a few customers that have placed orders. So, it's a good thing we planted a little extra. I just hate for the geese to cut into our crop. So this is kind of a tour of the garden so far. These are our few raised beds. I've got some carrots and some kale in there. And then onion and garlic in that one. And then I've got some snow peas in this one. We love tomatoes. A lot of what we're doing is tomatoes. So Patrick, you want to show them how we string our tomatoes? We got 2 rows of tomatoes. There are about 22, 23 tomatoes on each row. And then I love nasturtiums planted in the middle of them. So what do we call this? What do we call this weave that we do, baby, where we string the tomatoes? Is there a name for it?
I can't remember if it's called the French weave or.
You can't remember if it's called the French weave?
Yeah, I can't remember exactly what it's called, but you can look it up, I guess.
Yeah, it works really well. So we put stakes. He's got some of the metal T-posts, but then he puts the wood post. And, okay, show them your technique. Show them what you're doing.
So I've already done most of it. But I usually pull the string all the way down to the end, from one end. Mm-hmm. And then tie it off on my post.
Yeah.
And then Just make sure that they're in between the strings. Well, this one's already been looped because I stopped.
Okay.
Pull it tight and I go to the next one.
So you've already been down the other row doing the exact same technique.
Yeah, and then I have used a piece of PVC before as a kind of a needle, but this is not that many tomatoes.
No. They're looking good, baby. So it doesn't take... Go ahead, yeah, get the slack out. So it doesn't take very long to string the tomatoes like this. You can usually do a row in less than 10 minutes, don't you think, baby?
Oh yeah, for sure.
So, and in the life of the tomato plants, how many runs do you think you have to do of this?
I mean, I usually only do it every foot.
Okay.
You like to do it a lot more than every foot. So there's a difference.
There's a little bit of overkill on my part. So, but it makes it easy. I mean, you can see how he just strung all those tomatoes and it took no time. So you can see there's one on that. You can
always come back and pull them through.
Yeah, you can always come out and pull them through. So they're sandwiched between the two pieces of twine. So in the past we've used jute twine, but I couldn't find any of that at the co-op today. Here's my knife. So this is just baler twine. It'll work fine, won't it, baby?
Yeah, I mean that's what commercially they would use, not jute.
Okay, so they would use that commercially. So we've probably got about, I don't know, maybe 8 or 10 varieties of tomatoes. We grew our favorites from last year and weeded out some of the ones that either weren't great producers or that, you know, we could live without. So the mulch that you see on the beds is actually the compost that he did from the stall pickings when he used it to make compost, the 18-day compost. So you can watch the video. It's very convenient because we've got a local horse park, and you can go and they'll load you up with a big old load of stall pickings, stall shavings, and then you can just bring it back. And this has been weathered, what, 2 or 3 months probably?
Yeah, a lot more than 18 days.
Yeah, the 18 days didn't work, but that's okay. I'm still using it to mulch around the tomatoes. So here's one of my favorite companion plants, the nasturtium. I think they did a good job keeping the aphids out of our tomatoes last year. Plus you can eat the flowers and the leaves. I haven't eaten the leaves yet, but you can eat the flowers and the leaves. And they're just good. They're good companions. So we've got some cucumbers here, got some basil. Oh, we've got a good stand of rattlesnake snap beans. So those came up really well. They germinated well, so I need to finish mulching them. And I love zinnias. I grew up to zinnias. Mom always had a garden full of zinnias. So we haven't planted that. That's a pea patch right there. We got to till it one more time and get it planted. But these peas came up really well. I mean, I was a little crooked on my row there. Just a little bit crooked. But they came up well. The carrots. Okay, so we did some research on trying to get rid of the geese. Oh, that looks like a Norman Rockwell photo right there. So, modern. So we found out you're not supposed to feed them, even though you want to keep them out of your garden. You're not supposed to feed them because then they'll hang around. And they are a protected species.
Okay. Not even really supposed to molest them at all.
Oh.
Like even running them off, throwing rocks. Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Right, so it's a good thing we planted extra this year, huh?
Yeah, I mean, they make some kind of goose away or something. I mean, that's just from looking. It was like $126.
What?
Yeah.
What is goose away? What is that?
There was I mean, one of them had grapeseed extract. Supposedly it irritates either their mouth or digestive system or something like that, but that seems like it would fall into molesting the Canadians.
Oh.
So, I mean, if we can, I guess we're going to try to make it harder for them to get to it.
Yeah. We're going to put the electric fence around there too to keep the deer out, aren't we?
Yeah, I don't know what that would do for a goose, but.
And then we're going to put the baling twine. We're going to put some extra.
We need a dog.
We do need a dog.
In here.
Yeah, our dog, she just likes to lay on the porch, so she would probably let the geese curl up next to her. She wouldn't hurt them at all, so.
Yep, so we're going to get the peas and plant the peas.
All right, let's get the peas planted. Okay, so this little thingy works really well to plant seed. It's a time saver and it's a back saver. Show them how it works, baby.
So there's a little wheel in there that picks up seed, and it's got several discs.
That little thing?
Peas, corn,
okay,
etc., etc.
So
works better if it leans to this side because that's where the wheel is, but I'm on the opposite side.
okay, so it's got a little trench digger thing right there, that little plow, and then it's got a chain. Well, it digs the trench and then the seeds drop out and the chain covers it up, so.
And the press wheel in the back firms up the soil.
Okay, so it works great for corn, peas. I mean, you've got little wheels to go for a lot of different things, right?
Yeah, okra. I mean, you can plant anything with it.
Okay.
Almost anything.
Okay. All right.
It's hard to push in freshly tilled soil.
Yeah.
But it's still better than doing it bean by bean.
It probably uses a little bit more seeds than doing it by hand, but it sure is a back saver and a time saver, right?
Yeah, but you can get clay or silly putty or Play-Doh or whatever and clog every other hole if you want to.
Oh.
I mean, I'm going to plant the same peas, these purple top, in between my two little corn rows right here.
Okay.
And then I may plug every 2 holes. Because I don't need a huge stand in there, I just want some in there to be able to supply nitrogen to the corn. There's something called 2 sisters, you can look it up, which is where you plant peas and corn together. Or 3 sisters, peas, corn, and squash together.
Okay.
Because they all benefit each other.
Okay. They're good companion plants?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, the squash covers up the dirt to keep weeds down.
Mm-hmm.
It also, the corn supplies a place for the vines to grow on the peas and on the squash.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they help each other out. We're not doing 3 sisters, we're just doing 2.
Okay. Well, carry on, because we got to fence this garden in to keep the geese out. So this year we're going to try to do more no-till. So we've got the garden ready and established and ready to do that from now on. We rode the garden up in the winter and put a tarp over it. The tarp stayed down for about a month, which wasn't quite long enough to kill the weeds and the grass, so we followed up with the blowtorch just to kill the last little grass weed things. There's still some grass coming up sporadically in between the tomatoes and everything, so I've just, you know, dealt with that by hand. And I am also, the final thing that we're going to do to keep the grass and the weeds down and also hold some of the water in the garden is layering it with mulch. So we're using the barnyard pickings that Patrick went to pick up to make compost out of. It's not completely composted. It has broken down a good bit, but it's perfect for mulching on top of the garden right now to hold the weeds down and also hold some of the moisture in. And as the year goes by, it'll decompose even more and it'll make the garden much better next year. So those are the 3 things that we are hoping will help us, you know, get a jump start on the garden next year and not have as many grass or weed seeds to deal with, because we're not planning on tilling this again. And we'll just add compost and mulch on top of it, and hopefully it'll be easier to get it started next year.
Okay, so in an effort to try to keep the Canadians off American soil, I took our baling twine that we're using to string the tomatoes. I'm only trying it on 2 sides because of the fact that I got to coil all this stuff back up. If it doesn't stop them on these 2 sides, then 4 sides ain't gonna make a difference. I don't know if y'all can see that, but I just did 4 strands on these 2 sides of the garden next to the pond. There's worthless cat not doing anything to protect the garden. So hopefully we'll see if it'll keep the we'll see if we can keep the geese out. I don't even know where they went. Oh, there they are. There they are. All right, Canada, let's see what you got. I will go to my roost and watch. So that's about all we're doing today. I need to stop in order to give them time to try to go for their evening feed to see if they can feed on my corn. Now, you can kind of see now in the sunlight with the corn how they've kind of chopped off the tops on the ends compared to down on this other end over here. It'll grow back, but it will set it back some, which, I mean, that may be fine anyway, to have a little break in the corn as it's coming up. So that takes care of our Saturday. We'll report back on the goose blockade or failure after we see how it works. Until next time, thank you, like and subscribe. The little thumbs up. And we'll see y'all next Saturday. Bye.